This is FightFans Radio.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Untethered MMA on FightFans Radio. I am your host, Mike Fagan. If you want to reach the show, you can call in at 410-988-6525. You can reach the three of us on Twitter. You can reach me at It's Mike Fagan. You can reach Derek Suboticki at FightLinkerSubo. And you can reach Bleacher Report superstar extraordinaire Matt Roth at MattRoth512. And we'll get right into not MMA talk. Well, sort of MMA talk. Yesterday, San Francisco Weekly, I believe, published an article about Bleacher Report and just kind of how they've grown and expanded and how they operate. And Deadspin today, they did their blog thing yesterday with that post, and then they actually leaked an email from a Bleacher Report MMA writer from sometime a couple of years ago when Antonio Silva fought Fedor Emelianenko, kind of showing how they produce the news. And I know Matt can't get into too many specifics, but I'll let you kind of say your thing, and then Derek and I will discuss the story a bit.
All right. So what you saw in that on the blog post with the dead zone and stuff like that, that's a real email. Obviously, that's a real email. I would Tom Lay from Deadspin. There's no way that he would make up what is it, like 400 topics. So yeah, that's a real email, and we do get emails like that. It's still like that. The one thing that's kind of I really disagree with is that my tenure at Bleacher Report has been great. I'm getting paid more at Bleacher Report than I did at Bloody Elbow or SB Nation because I did stuff at the SB Nation news desk. I'm happier there. I can travel to events. I can get credentialed for events. I have more of an actual. I have more of an ability to create a fan following. The Bleacher Report does have a lot of things that SB Nation didn't have, or Vox Media, whatever you guys want to call it. They have a copy editing team, which at Bloody Elbow, the copy editing team was basically Richard Wade would go in afterwards completely sneakily and check typos and grammatical errors. But there's no copy editing team at SB Nation, and there is with Bleacher Report. There's a video team that they have a programming team to actually syndicate stuff out. I feel like a lot of people kind of get caught up in the slideshows, and it's really easy to do that. It's easy to still look back and what Deadspin uses for that main photograph of Japan earthquake and tsunami, the worst natural disasters. It's easy to look at that and still kind of have the Bleacher Report is garbage, but top 10 reasons people are disappointed. But Bleacher has been great. I have a great relationship with everybody there. I feel like Deadspin, they're kind of targeting Bleacher Report when they have their own their own house that they need to get in order. If you read Jezebel, if you read Deadspin itself, a lot of it is garbage. A lot of it is garbage opinion, and it's not really journalistic integrity or real journalism. So it's easy to toss stones, but they have to look at their own house too. I can't really say much more, but I'll say that what you read on Gawker on Deadspin is obviously it's true. That's a real email. But I think that if they want to, they can reach out to me. My email is roth.ma@gmail.com. I'm not going to give my cell phone number out on the air, but if you email me, I'll give you my cell phone number. If you tweet at me, I'll DM you back and give you my cell phone number. I'll speak on record about this, but I feel like going after the people who left, maybe not on the best of circumstances, it kind of creates a narrative that you're not really giving a fair and unbiased view, and it's pretty obvious that's what this is trying to go.
And not that this show would know anything about giving fair and unbiased views about former employers. Also, Matt, I think if you gave out your phone number on the air, you'd probably be reaching less people than if someone contacted you. So I don't think you're in danger of giving your phone number out here.
Right.
But I think we should just gag order you here because I don't want you to start saying anything that's gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
He said a lot more than I thought.
I did. I was kind of surprised too.
It's like, holy shit! Shut up, Matt, before you get in trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself, and you guys can do what you're gonna do.
Word. I fucking am dumbfounded that anyone's really that surprised by it, and the idea that most of these large aggregator sites or sites that kind of thrive on event traffic and things like that don't do this routinely is stupid to me. But it's a big part of the reason that, I make noise about writing and I love writing when I'm not in college and I have the time to do it. But I don't miss the farming aspect of it. And that's really what it feels like to me. It's like, all right, here's 50 packets of seeds. Y'all have your little can of water and your pot of dirt, so get to it and pick a packet and make something grow, and then we'll come around and harvest it, and based on the numbers and the metrics that we've been researching for all this time, this is what should come out of the other side. And it even says right there in the email, we'll give some of this stuff to our quote-unquote backup writers, which are your shit writers. So pick what you want and we'll leave the rest to them because less people will care about it and they'll be, you'll be more inspired to write what you pick. But I don't miss the farming aspect of it. I don't miss the idea that content is king in terms of amount of content and reliability of content as opposed to quality of content.
Actually, wait, let me just jump in just one more second.
Oh God.
No, I'm not going to go on a rant. Don't worry about it.
All right, cool.
The backup writers that they're basically talking about is basically like a news desk. Those guys are paid. They're actual real writers. It's just basically whatever the MMA writers or the football writers don't grab off of that email, it gets sent to the news desk team.
The biggest thing I kind of took from it, and the biggest reason that as a company as a whole, I still find Bleacher Report not somewhere that I want to direct my traffic is, it's not so much the SEO stuff and the analytics, because I think that stuff is has its place, and I think it's something that smart technology companies and media companies should be doing. But it's the things like, in the article, the original article that the San Francisco Weekly posted, they told a story about a kid who wrote an article about why Tom Brady was, I think it was something like the most overrated quarterback in the NFL or something along those lines. And the kid admitted that, he doesn't really believe that he thinks Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. It's that sort of stuff, that sort of sensationalizing opinions that aren't really based in reality.
Anybody, yeah.
And it's that sort of the link bait or clickbaiting stuff that really bothers me. It's the stuff that you see a link to and you see the headline and you want to click it just because you want to see how bad this opinion is and how riled up you're going to get about it. I don't mind companies saying, here, look, we have just take MMA for instance. Look, we've got this event coming up. These are the big keywords we want to hit. These are the big stories and topics we want to hit. I thought that the email that Deadspin leaked was a little bit overboard in the sense that there was a lot of stuff on there like, opinions that are being told to, or being suggested or offered to write about. When it's
I'm just
not,
insulted they were still asking about Fedor versus Randy at that point, because that shows a fucking lack of knowledge about the sport that is unforgivable.
yeah. Now, a lot of comparisons I've made between Bleacher Report and SBN. Matt obviously has experience at both. I have experience at SBN. In my experience at Bloody Elbow, we never got a list like that said, we didn't even get a list of like keywords that we should hit. We had things like, going into events, make sure you put the, UFC 152 at the start. That's going to be the big keyword. But that was just kind of best practices stuff. That wasn't stuff that was sent to us each event. I don't know if that's changed over there. Obviously I have my issues with Bleacher or with SBN, and I think a lot of the stuff that they do is what stuff that Bleacher Report does. And it's probably stuff they learned from Bleacher Report, but they do it in not always the most extreme way as Bleacher Report, if that's a way to put it. But yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that Bleacher Report gets shit for is overblown. I think when people talk about slideshows, Bleacher Report's not the only site that does that. There's major media outlets that do it. And when you really break it down, a slideshow is just a top 10 list. And, magazines have done that for years. And almost every blog does that. I mean, if you go to any generic blog with any sort of high volume, you're probably going to see some sort of list post, whether it be numbered or whether it just be like, I saw today on Cage Rider, like, questions that will be answered at UFC 153 or 154. Like, it's just kind of standard stuff. And, Bleacher Report sort of, takes it a step further, but I don't really see the harm in that. It's the stuff that that Tom Brady story, that's the stuff that really kind of turns me off. And obviously, I have people that I like that write there and they write good stuff. And, I don't think Matt or John Snowden, for instance, gets an opinion from Bleacher Report to write about. I mean, maybe they do, and they're lying to me about it. But
no. So I'm sorry, I'm back in here. All right. So when I worked at the SB Nation news desk, it was basically the same sort of thing as what you saw in that Bleacher Report email. It's headlines that you have to write. It's basically you're getting you have news that you have to do every single time. So like. I had to do fantasy rankings and I had to, there's a bunch of shit that I had to do for the SB Nation news desk. And I mean, and again, Mike, I mean, you were a Bloody Elbow. Remember when Osama bin Laden was killed, and what was the first thing that KJ posted?
You're gonna make me answer it?
Yeah, the Osama bin Laden and judo, and it wasn't even Osama bin Laden in that photo. And meanwhile, I can't in Bleacher Report, I can't edit my my hyperlink like we could at Bloody Elbow. So KJ's hyperlink was like Osama bin Laden dead, SEAL Team 6. Like he basically did a CNN headline for his URL, and then his headline for Bloody Elbow was like, "Could this photo be of Osama bin Laden?" Okay. Look, it's really easy to toss stones when there's, that one instance where you fuck up, and in Bleacher Report's case, Japan earthquake and tsunami, the worst natural disaster in sports history. That's a huge fuck up, but there's cases everywhere, man. Like Bloody Elbow did something similar, with the Osama bin Laden thing, and nobody batted an eyelash.
Well, I batted an eyelash. I got pretty upset about that.
Staff, you allowed it to happen. Like
I didn't. Well, I wouldn't say I allowed it to happen. That just
Shots fired.
It's not. I mean, I think one thing that people and this, it's hard to say for Bleacher Report because it's kind of one big monolithic site. It doesn't have, individual. I mean, it does to an extent have individual blogs, but at Bloody Elbow we didn't. Not all articles went through the main editorial staff. There was a bit of autonomy there, and especially when a breaking news story like that goes out, sometimes people just start posting stuff. It's kind of a free for all, and so to say that I let that happen was
right. No, but you understand.
I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
Bloody Elbow, we had like the primers that you have to do, and then you have like the results posts, and then you have like the post results posts, like the ones that.
Yeah,
like it's the same thing as that email from Deadspin that they posted. It's just it's on a smaller scale as opposed to 300 topics. You know, KJ and Frazier and all those guys, they need to do primers on top of the dissections that Dallas Winston does, and then they have to do the results stuff on top of the results stuff that Tim Burke does. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's that obviously, yeah, it's indefensible that or maybe it's not indefensible. It looks bad when you're guessing what the big news is going to be and when you're going to break it, but at the same time, everybody literally does that. They all literally have their stories that they have to write. It's just that it's not getting farmed out to Deadspin, and Deadspin doesn't have Bloody Elbow in their sites.
Well, and farmed out is the correct word. You got to stop looking at it as writers writing for the passion of it or because they find things interesting. You need tomatoes and zucchinis and a little bit of everything else, and that's what that email entails, which is you guys pick your plots and we'll assign the rest to, whoever else.
To the news desk, which is basically exactly, if you go to any of the regional sites at SB Nation, they're getting the same stuff. They get the same emails.
And I'm not surprised. That's the thing that gets me. Like, I'm just not surprised by any of it. And Aaron Simpson versus Mike Pierce. Do you guys think that's a losers leave town match?
Oh, probably.
go fuck off, Derek.
Will they put a pink slip on one of the 8 poles of the octagon?
It's actually an 8-corner match, and they need to touch all 8 corners.
If that's your passive aggressive way of saying you want to move on, we can do that, Derek.
It totally is, but now I'm really intrigued because I think an 8 corners match would be absolutely insane, especially with these two guys since they're both good wrestlers.
Well, you know what the next topic of discussion is, Derek?
No.
It's the Hulk Hogan sex tape.
Oh, man.
No!
Yes. Yeah, it is.
That is just a large orange blob sticking something in a woman. I don't want to see that.
Did you watch it? Did you watch
No!
Ah, come on, son.
Dude.
I posted I gave you the link in the email.
Well, then I wonder what stopped me from clicking it.
I don't know. You're a toad?
A toad? Dude,
yeah.
What kind? Okay, so toads don't watch Hulk Hogan have sex.
You're such an idiot, Derek.
Non-toads watch
Matt, you watched it, right?
Sex. I learned something.
Yeah, I did. Can I get one last word in?
Yeah.
So, last word, Matt Miller, whose Twitter is at NFL Draft Scout. He was able to use Bleacher Report, to get into into Madden 2013. His tweets are now featured in Madden. So if you reach out to the happy guys that are actually happy and had great experiences with Bleacher Report, I'm sure you get a completely different story. Like that. So don't take everything that you read on Deadspin as being true. There's always 2 sides to every story, and I'm sure if you ask current people on staff, they would have a completely different story to tell.
Well, one last word on that too is a lot of the quotes that are coming out are not from Deadspin. It's from the San Francisco Weekly article.
No, but the San Francisco Weekly article, they still reached out to former people.
Right. What I'm saying though is that it's not Deadspin.
Oh no,
Deadspin kind of hopped on.
Deadspin's quoting those people. So what I'm saying is like, obviously, if you speak to people, like if I spoke to you 3 days after Bloody Elbow, when you got let go from Bloody Elbow,
you're looking for the most politically correct voice there.
2 days after you got fired, I'm pretty sure that you'd have some really negative stuff to say.
I think 9 months after I got fired, I still have negative things to say.
Right, but you know what I mean, like people like if you left under the worst circumstances, you would have obviously really bad things to say. If you left on good terms, you don't have much to say.
That's a fair point. Anyway, sex tape.
Yep. So sex tape. It's nice to see that guy does have a 22-inch python.
One thing that I've kind of found interesting about Hogan, and continuing the Gawker Deadspin thing since Gawker released the clip, and then Deadspin runs they call it the Virgil bag, which is run-ins with pro wrestlers. And one of the things that's pretty consistent is that when people run into Hulk Hogan, he actually seems like a pretty genuinely nice dude.
And he says brother.
People will go walk up to his table at dinner, and he'll be totally pleasant. And there's been tons of stories where he actually pays for the dinner of that person. There was a story. I think two guys went to deliver like a Christmas tree to his house, and he gave him a really big tip and made some sort of joke about having sex with women. And then even in the clip that on Gawker with the sex tape, like he actually seemed like a pretty decent dude, which is weird because if you talk to anyone in the pro wrestling industry, he's a total dickhead.
I mean, he did put her over though pretty well.
Yes, he did. He did put her over.
Did he let her get the pin?
He did let her get the finish.
Well, it's nice of him to put his shoulders on the mat for her.
He definitely put his shoulders on the mat.
Yep, sure. and she got the finish.
Yep.
Or she got to finish.
Okay, that's
Ew, I think I'm gonna die without having watched that tape. I think that's just something that's not gonna happen between now and death.
Say that I'm kind of interested in the fact that looks like it's totally fucking like he has no idea, like a security camera. Like it doesn't look like there's actually like
there's no production value.
Yeah, there's no production value on that. That's seriously just like a security camera in like the upper corner of a bedroom, and that makes it seem kind of weird.
Is there audio?
Yeah, there's audio, but it's like.
Does he say "what you gonna do" over and over again?
It's from far away. It's obvious that it wasn't like a stationary camera in front of the bed like we saw, or like point of view stuff like you saw in the Paris Hilton sex tape.
And it's not like the angle in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where it's just man ass and balls.
No, I mean, you do see his man ass.
Who likes that? Who finds that angle sexy?
And it's a black and white video.
Yeah.
Well, unless I can see how orange the motherfucker is, I can't verify that is or isn't Hulk Hogan.
No, you can tell. I mean,
he talks. You can hear him. It's definitely Hulk.
And I mean, he has.
Does he talk dirty to her? Oh yeah.
He has the Hulk Hogan hairdo or the bald spot or whatever.
The hair of a silken Chinese man.
And he looks like a sausage.
The skin of a hot dog.
I like that we've spent almost a half hour on Bleacher Report and Hogan's sex tape.
What do you guys think about Michael Johnson versus Danny Castillo?
We'll talk about the Fuel Show first. Although I didn't watch it live, I downloaded it totally legally and watched it while I was working, so I wasn't paying too close of attention. But Derek, your boy Struve, look good.
Yeah, goddamn right. I'm stupid for picking Miocic and being so wishy-washy and thinking that, I didn't think.
Wait, you didn't pick Struve?
No, I fucking wishy-washed and picked Miocic on
what
both
a
this.
Dick.
I know. I'm ashamed of myself for doing it. Struve has been my boy for years and years. Like I said, that Ohio Balkans connection, not fucking Vulcans, you drunk deaf bastards, but Balkans. It misled me. I don't think he gassed so much as got his ass kicked because he beat up Del Rosario harder than that and didn't gas. But yeah, my boy Struve, I'm very thrilled with his performance. And we got one of the guys that knocked his ass out coming up here on the main event this weekend.
Since you are the Struve boy in the show, who do you want to see him fight next?
I want to see him fight Frank Mir because I think that's the best heavyweight in the world that he can beat right now. That's
a pretty inspired matchmaking. Struve is 9-3 now in the UFC. I mean, first of all, that's a fucking ton of fights in the UFC.
He's 25
in a 3-year span. Yeah, he's 25. I really like when young fighters get a lot of fights under their belt. Struve now has 30 pro fights.
And I like it when they fix their holes. What have we been saying about Struve striking for 2 years? Fucking jab. Learn how to jab. And he landed more jabs in that Miocic fight than I think he landed in his whole career leading up to it.
Yeah, but he landed 3 in his whole career leading up to it.
I didn't say it was an impressive accomplishment, all right? I fucking said an accurate thing.
There are improvements that he made, but I still don't like, considering how tall he is, how he controls or I should say doesn't control distance. I mean, I think
willing to get and Miocic is willing to jump inside. That was one of the things that he showed against Del Rosario. He'll come in and throw a couple and get hit. And Struve seems willing to be hit by those and defend with his very good, he got hit in the head a bunch, but with his forearm, elbow, shake 'em defense, it's pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, I just, when you have that much of a size and reach advantage on guys, I would like to see him be able to,
He should never get hit ever.
Well, I wouldn't say never get hit ever. But why do I keep forgetting the name of the fucking K1 dude? That's fucking tall.
Semi-Schilt?
Semi-Schilt.
He should be using the push kick, the front kick, and keeping
So
guys.
if he was just the best kickboxer of all time at heavyweight,
Let's say Stefan Struve is actually Semi-Schilt, and he's the best kickboxer of all time. Yeah, totally, Michael.
in that case, he would have better striking, and I'd like him a lot more.
Also,
I like Stefan
Struve, underrated MMA fighter.
That's true. I agree with that actually.
He's probably the UFC champ if he wants to be in waiting in exile, which is what I said to Ryan Scalia, and he completely agreed.
But yeah, still a good showing. I really actually like that Frank Mir idea. I think that's a.
I think he probably loses to Ware Doom because Ware Doom is a bigger body and has better Muay Thai, and I think Ware Doom beats Mir. But I think Struve can knock out Mir.
It's really interesting with Frank Mir too. He's kind of that guy. He's not over the hill. He's not like Vanderlei Silva the past 2 or 3 years, where every middleweight in the world wants to fight him because he's still got a name and he's guys looked up to him and now they want to they know he's easy pickings. But Mir's kind of that guy that like anytime you talk about a prospect coming up or maybe a guy coming off a loss or a guy like in Cormier's situation, Frank Mir's like always the one guy that people want.
Well, because if you want to give him a high rank, like a top 5 fight, and Dana White says he's in that kind of area now, and you look at the top 4, which you got Dos Santos, Velasquez, Cormier, and Overeem, that's a murderer's row. So for a prospect to fight one of those 4 guys, you want him to beat somebody with a name first, and the biggest name out there that isn't one of those 4 is Frank Mir.
Right.
So he just falls into that slot because he's gotten shit kicked by everybody. Like, what did they do with Shane Carwin? Like, hey, if you can beat up Frank Mir, you get a title shot. What did he do?
Right.
Oh wait, this just in. Dennis Hallman versus Thiago Tavares is off.
Why?
Who knows? Do you care?
No.
Did somebody get hurt?
I'm upset you brought it up.
Well, I feel like Hallman's going to get cut if he loses again. So.
Well, it's coming from Guilherme Cruz from Tatame.
He's full of shit. Fuck that.
Never mind. Dennis Hallman is way overweight.
And he just said, I can't make it?
Yeah, I guess so.
They just said, fuck. Okay, he's getting cut. Bye, Dennis.
Yeah. You almost show your balls, get on Dana's shit list, come to the weigh-in out of shape. Not a good idea.
Well, it's just it's not even out of shape, dude. Like, he was a pretty big welterweight, and that 155 cut has to be murderous.
Right.
So if he fucked it up even a little bit, and he's like 10 pounds over today, he's like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother.
There were a couple of cool finishes in on the Fuel shows, but is there anything really you guys want to, any story or anything you want to talk about there? Because otherwise, to me, it was just a bunch of mid-level guys fighting each other.
Are you saying it was meh?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of just like coming out of it, what the fuck do we want to talk about?
Well, I mean, one punch Brad Pickett landed one punch. That's pretty cool.
It was a fantastic knockout.
And Matt Wyman fucking out. I love Matt Wyman, and I think he's really going to make some movement at lightweight now. Now that he's hopefully he can stay healthy, and his jiu-jitsu is really second to only a couple of guys at that division.
No. His jiu-jitsu isn't second only to a couple of guys in that division. That's insane to say, man. Come on.
Well, Mark Bocek, probably Benson, maybe Diaz. Who else?
Maybe Diaz? Maybe Nate Diaz.
Diaz hasn't tapped anybody since, I guess Jim Miller. Jim Miller. Yes, Jim Miller.
I'd say that has better BJJ. I would say that Frankie Edgar has better BJJ.
He ain't a lightweight anymore.
That's true.
So what? He's 4th? 5th? That's second to a few, which would be 4th or 5th.
Thiago Tavares.
What about him?
He has better BJJ.
You're just saying names now to piss me off, so let's move on.
I'm just saying that you're grossly...
Gray Maynard has better BJJ.
I'm just saying that you're grossly inaccurate in your statements, sir.
I love Matt Wyman's jiu-jitsu. People would have said Paul Sass had one of the better jiu-jitsu because he got tapped in the first round.
Matt Wyman is a real deal fighter, and he's probably one of the toughest dudes in the UFC's lightweight division.
He's one of the better grapplers in that division too. He's in the upper echelon.
Yeah, but like he's an all around really good fighter. I would maybe like to see him take some tougher fights because I thought he was kind of robbed in that Dennis Seaver fight.
That was a close fight. That was a close fight. That's as much as I can say about it. I don't remember how I had it scored, but I do remember that there was a lot of consternation about the decision.
Can I butt in here, boys?
No.
No.
All right.
Tough.
So we got the FX show this weekend. I just checked the betting odds. Am I crazy for thinking that Antonio Silva as a near plus 200 underdog is a little insane?
You think that it should be a wider?
No, I think it should be closer. I mean, maybe I'm underrating Travis Brown, but like really,
Antonio Silva got beat up.
But here's a question: do you really think that Travis Brown isn't that much of an overdog?
Fuck you, man.
He's an overdog. He's an overdog.
That was great. He's the overdog of the night.
He is.
What's the line on Ellenberger Huron? Is that like minus 300 for Ellenberger?
Yeah, it's
that's what I think.
The best line you can get is minus 290, but it's as high as minus 370.
Which I don't know. What's the record for being a favorite in a rematch of a fight that you lost the first time around?
I don't know, St. Pierre, Sarah, maybe.
Maybe that actually probably is it.
Because that was like, I think off the top of my head, that was like minus 500, minus 600.
That was only a move of like 250 from the original line.
Yeah. Well, and reasonably.
Jay Huron, I mean, a plus 300 on 5 dimes, that seems to be pretty good value to me, man. I think that he does have a shot.
He beat Ellenberger.
How? Out-wrestles the shit out of him.
He's a better wrestler than Ellenberger?
Yeah, definitely.
Matt, you're inaccurate with your statement.
No, I'd say that I'm more accurate in my statements than saying that Matt Wyman is second to none.
I didn't say none. I said a few.
Second to a few.
Yeah, so, second to a few.
Here's the thing. Second to a few makes him not second.
I said second. I said so that makes him fourth or fifth.
Second to a few. He's sixth to a few. Like, that's what you should have said, idiot.
Nah, being sixth to a few would be like ninth or like 18th. That's math, man.
He's second to a few, so he's second with 5 people above him.
So I'm a little upset because I will be at the gym until probably close to the start of the FX show, so I won't be able to hear Anik and Florian correctly pronounced Uyenoyama, and I'm a little upset about that, guys.
Uyenoyama?
Yeah.
I said Uyenoyama.
It's unfortunate. I feel like Joe Silva is going to put Uyenoyama on every FX or Fuel show now because they don't want Goldberg and Rogan trying to figure out a way to get around it.
They just like to pair their flyweight fights, and we get to see John Dodson fight, which will be very fun.
Yeah, and that's
and the debut of Jussier Formiga, who's been a guy that a lot of people have wanted in the UFC for a long time, and now he's finally making his debut.
And it is a title eliminator fight, so it's got some weight behind it.
Why the hell isn't it the co-main then?
I don't know, because they're fucking small.
I don't give you shit. And then Josh Neer versus Justin Edwards, so hooray.
I love Josh Neer, by the way, man. I love watching Josh Neer fight.
I know you do.
Dude, come on.
Yeah, I agree with Matt. Neer's one of those guys that he's not very good.
He comes to fight.
Yeah.
No, he's super entertaining, but I like watching guys evolve, and Josh Neer has been the exact same fighter for like 6 years.
Yeah, a really good, fun fighter.
Yes, but there's no change. I like seeing guys change. I like them seeing learn from losses and improve. I like them seeing address weaknesses. And Josh Neer doesn't do that.
Yes,
That's
he does.
fine.
What really? What does he have?
Oh, I don't know. Wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu? He tapped out Melvin Gillard, sir.
I stand corrected.
All right, can we just end the show on that? Because that was awesome.
There's a handful of news stories from the past week that I want to get into. Forrest Griffin, I think on Ariel's show, admitted to having taken, and I want to make this clear. I want to make this clear
Admitted
because
to,
I want to make this clear because some
not
people
just said.
said he took Xanax the night before the Anderson Silva fight. Ended up testing positive in Pennsylvania. Apparently, Pennsylvania is one of the few, if only, states that having that in your system is liable to fail a test. And the
they have super secrecy laws, which also affected the Marquardt situation, if I remember correctly.
right,
Where it's like they just won't release anything.
right, yeah. Pennsylvania didn't release the failed test. It seemed like a story that kind of blew up for no reason. I mean, it's obviously interesting. To me, it's more interesting that Pennsylvania didn't report it. But the fact that Forrest took Xanax the night before, it makes for some funny punchlines, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he said to Bonner, do exactly the opposite of what I did. So don't take Xanax the day before the fight stuff, and I guess would be the key to take from this whole episode. It's just kind of a thing that happened. I can't really go off on this. Xanax just makes me forget stuff. Matt, what's your experience with Xanax?
Man, I've had some really good experiences with Xanax.
It just makes me forget. Like, I wake up the next day, like, what did I do yesterday? Oh, wait.
It makes me have sex with girls from Rutgers University.
That is one of the trashiest things I've ever heard in my entire life.
Either of you taken Xanax the night before UFC?
I have never taken Xanax before the night before a UFC. I have done mind erasers, and I'm pretty sure that that's kind of the same.
What's a mind eraser?
Oh, mind eraser is an alcoholic beverage, sir.
Oh, what?
He can't tell you what's in it. He has no idea.
No, a mind eraser is, I believe, it's vodka, Kahlua, and then club soda, but you have to drink it through a straw, and you drink it really quickly. And so it's basically like doing a shot through a straw, and then
Why do you have to do it through the straw?
I don't know, man. It's science. There's some sort of science behind it. And then you don't remember that you went home with an ugly girl.
Is that a personal anecdote, or is that just generally what happens on it?
That actually is exactly what happens on it.
All right. The last episode of The Ultimate Fighter last week had something like 750,000 viewers, which was the lowest in the history of the show. But can we expect the show to hit under 500,000 this season?
Huh?
Was it a questioning or an affirmative?
That was me. I didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
Can you see the Ultimate Fighter viewer numbers?
Yeah.
Under 500,000.
Well, I mean, I had this discussion with someone the other night. I can't remember who, and like that first season of the Ultimate Fighter, like those were the best prospects in the United States, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. It's
Like-
all the way up through like season 5 or 6, probably.
Yeah, and since season 5, you have Ryan Bader, John Dodson, and Ross Pearson.
I mean,
Maybe.
Roy Nelson was on the show, if you want to count.
And Roy Nelson, I guess. So like, since season 5, you have 4 legitimate people coming out of that show.
Hey,
Brendan
Brendan Schaub, yeah.
I mean, I think there's more than 4 or 5 guys, but it's just.
But I mean, like,
They're just not the same
it's dipped
quality,
so far. It's dipped so far, man.
Look,
Like,
it's a victim of its own success. Okay, when the
Oh,
Ultimate
really?
Fighter started, there were really, really quality mixed martial artists out there that were desperate to take a 6-fight, $100,000 contract and live in a house for 6 weeks with no contact with their family in order to get a job. MMA has grown exponentially since that time. So the guys that used to fill Ultimate Fighter slots, the guys that used to come train, they're on the undercard now. They're fighting for Bellator. They're fighting for Strikeforce. They have jobs because the marketplace has grown so much. So the talent pool for the reality show has shrunk. There's no way to avoid that. And like I said, it's a double-edged sword because it grew the sport, and in doing so, it created paying slots for the guys that they would normally recruit for this show.
and they've been going for almost 18 seasons if you include the overseas stuff, and they're running 2 seasons a year. So like your talent pool is like dwindling basically.
Oh, but the overseas stuff will go better because there are going to be fighters in Australia that are struggling to make it on the regional scene, and they're going to be fodder for the show, and they're going to get good training and get exposure, and they're going to get better. You remember with these guys, they come in really raw onto the show. They get better by the time it's over. That's the way the show is supposed to work. Just a 6-week camp, and you can see these guys grow. And then after that, you see where they can go. And doing that individually, country by country, it lowers costs. It gets local interests up a lot more. You're probably going to have more viewers in Australia than you do here in the United States for this Ultimate Fighter, just in sheer numbers, because of how crazy that country is for the sport.
One thing that I'm very curious, there was a lot of talk before this season about the Friday time slot. Matt, are you posting more hot dog shit in our chat here?
Oh, hot tub. Oh my God! Yes, we can talk about this. Oh my God! How much prices? Where's prices?
All right, we'll get to this in a second.
This costs as much as like a house. I can't afford this, but
I
won't.
But we can talk about this.
Yeah, in a second. Hold on.
Cool.
There was a lot of talk before the season started about the Friday time slot because the ratings. This is the first year that they put it on Friday, and the ratings didn't go so well. And just kind of tied this into the FX show. I'm wondering if they're going to move, because when they first signed the Fox deal, they were talking about Friday night's going to be UFC night. We're going to kind of build this brand. I think that is ultimately failed though. On Fridays you have some college football games. Also, people go out on Fridays and do things on Fridays. People do that on Saturday too, but Saturday has kind of traditionally been a combat sport night for a long time. So fight fans are have been trained to sort of treat Saturday as that fight night. Because for me personally, even on this Friday for the FX show, I'm gonna miss most of the prelims, and if something comes up, I'm not gonna watch the show. Where if it was a Saturday, I would be more willing to stay in. Do either of you feel that that's something that's going to change or needs to change?
I don't think it makes a difference, really. I mean, if you move it a night, it might give you another 50,000, 60,000 people that are making the same decision that you are saying. But with the DVR numbers, it just really doesn't matter. Either people are going to watch the show or they're not.
I mean, here's the big issue. Mike, do you go out on Friday night wanting to get laid?
Yes.
I do. I love getting laid. Derek, do you like getting laid on Friday night?
It's fun.
Right? Why am I going to watch The Ultimate Fighter?
Right.
So I mean, I think with a lead-in that isn't FX has the movies, and then a lead out that isn't FX has the movies, I think that you guys may get better ratings than 700.
To be fair, they've been doing a lot less of that shit lately.
FX has the movies.
One last topic, Matt, before we get to this link that you posted to us. Meltzer is estimating UFC 152 to do between 400 and 450,000 buys. From what I was reading from people tweeting his report, it seemed like he was sort of bearish on it. But that seems like a pretty decent number to me, all things considered, considering Jones' opponent. And, obviously the big news story going into it was the relationship between Jones and the UFC and how UFC 151 got canceled. But the UFC didn't really use that to promote it, whereas, if it was a big HBO boxing show, that would have been the central plot line going into it with a countdown show or a 24/7 type show. So I don't know how about you guys feel about it, but I feel like that 450,000 buy number is, it's not spectacular, but it seems pretty solid, all things considered.
Now, we kind of want our, champions to average about 500,000 apiece, no matter who the opponent is. We knew, Vitor wasn't going to draw anything in terms of pay-per-view buys to that fight. Dan Henderson versus John Jones doing 450,000, I think, is a disappointment. But that would have happened on schedule, and Henderson's a bigger opponent. So given the gap between cards and the circumstances surrounding it and the fact that they didn't really have John Jones out there on fucking Jay Leno selling the fight because of it, I think it's a fine number.
Matt, I'm assuming you just actually want to get into this link.
What? Yeah, I just want to get into the links.
All right, explain to people what the hell I'm looking at.
Okay, so everybody go to www.hhottug.nl.
I want to before you get into that, it's not H Hot Tug, it's just Hot Tug.
No, sorry, it's hottug.nl/hottug_en.htm, and then you can go see what a hot tug is. So basically, what it is It's a floating. It's a boat that's a hot tub that's also a tugboat that is heated with wood. It's a wood fired hot tub that is also a tugboat.
No, well, let's be clear here. There is either an electrical motor that comes with it, or you can put an outboard motor on it. There is a wood-burning stainless steel thing that does the hot tub portion of it.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
And so it costs a pretty penny.
It's fucking like $30,000.
Right. It's totally worth spending 30 grand on it because you could have a motorized boat hot tub.
What kind of person would this be good for, Matt?
Do you like partying?
I do.
Well, I believe then that you would be part of.
Do you like sluts and hot tubs?
Do you like sluts and hot tubs?
Have
you ever wanted to be in a rap video while also being a tugboat? Because
it's never occurred to me, but
this product is for you.
You need to send this to like every rapper that you know, and I guarantee we'll see it in a video within like the next.
Oh my God! Can you imagine a Jay-Z video with girls getting champagne poured on their titties in a hot tub? That'd be awesome. This sounds like the most fun ever.
I don't know. I don't think a big rapper would do it because these things they come in only one size, and it's like the size of a regular bathtub. So I'm thinking a poorer rapper,
probably
like the Bass God.
Yeah, like the Bass God. Like this is for Bass. This is for Little B. This is perfect for Little B Bass God, and he can float around pouring champagne on girls' titties while also being a tugboat. So he can help grounded boats out while also getting a lap dance in the hot tub.
I do appreciate the European style name because hot tub to me, if you asked me what a hot tub was, I would tell you it's a hand job with candle wax.
Yes. Do not Google hot tub.
Actually, Google hot tub if you're at work.
Any more about the hot tub you want to talk about, Matt?
No, can we go to the next one?
Dude, it's $1 million, and all the guns are. As soon as I saw the guns were deactivated, I lost all interest.
Yeah, but you're a redneck and you know how to reactivate guns.
Yeah, but it's a pain in the ass for fucking 50 caliber Brownings and a 20 millimeter fucking cannon.
Basically, it's a restored U-boat. It's a restored U-boat. Why would you want to own a restored U-boat?
No. A U-boat is a submarine, Matt. This is a PT boat.
The Hamaker Schlemmer?
But yeah, how awesome would that be? A restored U-boat?
A submarine? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But I wouldn't trust a restored U-boat because it's like 70 years old now and made by Nazis.
Seriously,
hold on. If we're talking about being made by Nazis, I'd actually be buying into it. They made some good shit.
It was a long time ago with no repairs, and they've just been sitting, underwater since then or in dry dock.
The Germans, they make good stuff.
It was a long time ago. They had to get kind of cheap there towards the end of the war. They're making that out of fucking tin cans and shit.
Dude, I bet you that you could still cross the ocean in a U-boat.
Well, I'm glad you guys are so impressed with what the Nazis did.
They had some really good ideas.
Well, it's just,
that's some really bad ideas too.
Yeah, some really bad ideas. And speaking as the Jewish representative on the show, some really terrible ideas. But I mean, the U-boat, brilliant.
Mike, are we through our topic list yet? Can we talk about how stupid everyone is regarding the debate?
I'd rather talk about everyone being stupid about the AL MVP vote, but
yeah, but that really has also being stupid about that.
I don't know. Look, I don't know. I do not think a vote for Miguel Cabrera means that you're a fucking idiot.
It's not even. All right, here's my thing about it. It'd be one thing if the numbers were closer. If it was, we're talking about wins above replacement. If it was like Trout was ahead by a half win or
I know, and he's had the best season ever in that statistic.
But here's the real big thing. We don't even have to talk about wins above replacement. We can just talk about just hitting numbers. We don't have to talk about defense or base running. If you just like straight hitting numbers, when you normalize their numbers based on the ballparks they played in, if you because Miguel Cabrera played in Comerica Park, which has traditionally been a very good park for hitters, and
runs.
And Mike Trout plays in Anaheim, where the ballpark is traditionally a pitcher's ballpark. When you normalize those numbers, Trout's ahead. Miguel gets some credit for playing 20 more games. Obviously that's not Trout's fault, but
Comerica's a big park, though. It's not easy to hit home runs in that park.
bro, go look at the numbers. Comerica Park is the number 4 hitters park in baseball.
Was that for home runs, or is that just for
offense in general?
Okay, I'm thinking about home runs. Leading the home run taking the home run title while playing in Detroit for 81 games is impressive.
Yo, wrap this up. It's dollar fried chicken night, and I want to get some fried chicken.
I don't give a shit, dude. We got 8 more minutes to fill, and your contract dictates.
It's dollar fried chicken night.
It's gonna be in 8 minutes.
So Comerica Park increases home runs by a little bit.
So it's right there in the middle of the league. It's not like leading it in Seattle or something like that.
Whereas Angels Stadium is a heavy against.
Well, I got to take issue with what you said. I saw somebody saying it last week, too, about Drew Brees. And you said, just because it's been a long time since somebody did it doesn't make it impressive as far as the Triple Crown being, 45 years since somebody pulled it off.
I didn't say winning the Triple Crown wasn't impressive.
No, you're saying that the distance of time between it didn't make it more impressive. And somebody was saying that, that they were more impressed with Unitas' streak versus Brees' streak, that they weren't impressed with what Drew Brees had done with the 40-whatever straight games with a touchdown pass because the game had changed. And the fucking point is that nobody else had done it. So,
but here's the thing, man. The Triple Crown in baseball not as impressive as Triple Crown in horse racing.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck horse racing.
Well, and the thing...
But here's a question regarding horse racing: is the horse the athlete or is the jockey?
It's the horse.
I read an absolutely atrocious article in the New York Times last week, and it was from a few years ago. But there are dozens of horses that die every week in this country because of horse racing. It's thousands of horses a year. And they're pharmacists, they make money.
And they're all getting purchased by Alistair Overeem.
Well, I wouldn't eat them because these pharmacists make money based on how many drugs they prescribe to the horse. So these trainers will come in to look at the horse and they'll see what prescriptions he's on and they'll say, what the fuck is this? The horse doesn't need all these drugs, but the doctor was making money because they were selling the drugs to the horse. It's an atrocious system.
Mike Trout's the AL MVP. You can give Miguel Cabrera the Hank Aaron Award for best hitter, but when you look as an overall ball player, Mike Trout is far and away the best player.
Let me ask you this: about wins over replacement, I think that this calls that into question because I don't think Anaheim loses 10 extra games if they don't have Mike Trout in the lineup. I doubt.
That's not what wins over replacement means. Although if you took Mike Trout off the team and I have a feeling Matt Roth took off his headphones.
Son of a
because I can hear myself. If you took Trout off the team and put some AAA guy there, the Anaheim Angels would not be close to making the playoffs like they were this year. They wouldn't have more wins than the Detroit Tigers did.
And
that's like saying, if you're gonna say that Mike Trout isn't worth 10 wins, then you're gonna have to say Miguel Cabrera wasn't worth 7 wins.
Well, maybe we don't do the MVP based on your goddamn sabermetrics.
But it's not. You don't even have to look at the wins above replacement.
You look at stolen bases, yo.
Stolen bases, home runs, ballpark, defense.
Home runs goes to Cabrera, sir.
Yeah, home runs does, but as a total package.
Batting average goes to Cabrera, and I know that RBIs, everyone says they're fucking useless, but I disagree. I think the clutch hitting does make a difference that's hard to quantify.
Wait. When you're talking about the total package, are you referring to Lex Luger?
I am.
You are talking about Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Because he was the total package. He also was the
narcissist. I'm referring to Matt fucking Wrong.
He was also the narcissist.
You're the narcissist, you bastard.
Lex Luger.
I love when we talk about a topic that Matt doesn't want to talk about, and then he just injects some bullshit right in the middle.
And causes echoes when he's bored because he just walks away and unplugs
Turn my headphones up.
You don't got headphones on,
I can't hear the snare.
Turn them up.
What?
Turn them up. Sorry.
Erica, can you hit the music, and then these Joker stars can give their closing thoughts?
Erica,
Debate.
if I turn down my volume, then I can't hear my coworkers, and that means I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about. So, you know what? I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to do, because I'm Matt Roth, and that's what I'm doing, everybody.
Oh, this is stupid. You guys, Brown or Silva? Make your fucking pick.
Silva.
Brown.
Brown.
Derek, final thoughts?
You're stupid for picking Antonio Silva.
That's
You're
cool.
an idiot, Derek.
What?
Roth, final thoughts?
Well, I already said that Derek was an idiot.
Don't worry about the debate.
And look, I don't
No.
think that Derek Soboticki knows shit. He doesn't know shit. He didn't pick fucking Stefan Struve because he's a moron, even though he talks about being a fan of Stefan Struve all the time. And you know what? Fuck everyone. You know what? Fuck your mother. Fuck your father. You're all bitches. Pussies.
I'm very
Miguel Cabrera is fat and he's a drunk.
He's
Mike
30
Trout.
years old.
MVP.
Real athletes.